Hey everybody! Good evening for Joel's College of Swing Era Knowledge. All right, are we ready for cans of weeds tonight? All right, let's see what's happening here. Hi everybody, coming on. Good to see you. Okay. Okay, good evening. Something changed in the Facebook stream, so this will be interesting because I think it's flipped and backwards. Maybe, I don't know, it's the way I'm looking at it, but it's kind of weird. So Instagram, hello out there. Facebook, hello out there. I'm looking at two videos and it's freaking me out right now. Hi, I'm Joel, again. Joel's College of Swing Era Knowledge. Not what I want to be doing, chatting with you via video, not my thing. I like being in person in the crowd, but we do what we can. Hope everyone's staying in, staying safe, and I want to bring a little bit of joy to your lives, hopefully a little bit of knowledge. Each night of the week, I'm going to offer something different. Monday night, jazz. Tuesday, Charleston. Wednesday, Lindy Hop and Jitterbug. Thursdays, we have our normal dances here, so we're going to try to have some normalcy in Spokane from 7 to 8 with a regular class. Fridays, shag. Saturday, bell and bell swing. Sundays, a session for teachers and organizers to chat or do whatever we want to do. It'd be interesting. So tonight is Jitterbug and Lindy Hop. Nobody asked any questions yet, so I have some ideas in my head that I want to share with you. First of all, some jargon, some lingo. I don't know why. I don't even remember when we started doing this, if it was in Cleveland way back in the day or what. We just started calling Jitterbug like 6-count stuff. Some people nowadays, they'll have classes specifically for Lindy and specify 6-count Lindy versus 8-count Lindy. That's cool. If you ask any of the original dancers, it was the classic story. I mean, this probably happens almost every time. If anybody ever took a class with Frankie Manning and asked what the count was for a particular move, he would say, count, the only count I know is Count Basie. Ha ha ha. So, which is kind of interesting because a lot of the original dancers, I'm just going to cut to the chase. I mean, Frankie was a great teacher, but a lot of the original dancers weren't teachers. So when you'd ask them to break down steps, like, what's the count of that? Or show me how to do this, or where does this happen and that happen? They had a hard time teaching and breaking things down because they didn't think about it that way. They just danced. And so a lot of times they didn't count specifically as far as like knowing what happened at a certain count. They were just doing things with the music, feeling the music, doing things, that they thought was appropriate at the time, which kind of leads into what I want to talk about, I think, tonight with regards to Jitterbug and Lindy Hop. And remember, for me, when I say Jitterbug, I'm thinking about 6-count stuff. Some will label it East Coast Swing, 6-count Lindy, whatever you want to name it, it doesn't matter. It's good stuff. Most of the dancers, once you start really getting into the dance, will mix 6 and 8-count patterns in general. Now, if you've been dancing a while, you know it could be anything. It could be a 4-count pattern, a 12-count pattern, a figure, whatever. Try hard not to get caught up in the count of things versus the rhythm of things. So tonight I want to go through some rhythmic exercises, which will be good for everybody out there being solo. And if you're lucky enough to be inside with your significant other, a partner, a friend, or whatever, you can work on this stuff with a partnership with your partner. Didn't know 6-count was again. Shelly's out there asking, I didn't know 6-count was Jitterbug. If you ask dance historians, they might tell you a different thing. Again, this is just the term I like to use for calling 6-count stuff 6-count. I don't like calling it East Coast Swing because East Coast Swing to me has a definite ballroom connotation. Nothing wrong with ballroom, but they have a very different curriculum, a very different way of teaching compared to what I would consider a street style approach to the dance. So that's why I personally don't prefer to call it East Coast swing. I like to differentiate between, I guess, 8-count Lindy versus 6-count Lindy. I think that sometimes gets confusing. So again, the jitterbug thing is just what I've called it over the years. We've called our classes down in San Diego over the past few years Lindy Hop, Jitterbug, Blues, Balboa, whatever. So jitterbug class. Okay, jargon-wise. So rhythmically, I think most of us know that for the Lindy Hop, the basic 8-count rhythm or pattern would be step, step, triple step, 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 triple step. If you're an engineer or an accountant, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so if I do that, if I get up and I do that rhythmically with my feet, and again from yesterday's lesson, I'm going to tilt this down just a little bit. From yesterday's lesson, you want to be ambidextrous with everything. So, and again, I don't know on Facebook Live if this is flipped, but this is going to be my left foot moving to the left, but it looks like I'm moving to the right. This is a little weird. In Instagram, I'm moving left, so we'll see how this goes. So if I start as a leader, traditionally leaders start things on the left foot, so I would go left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, or 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I can start that pattern on the right foot. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then just real quick, posturally, you can see I get down a little bit, bend my knees, right? Have a little bit of a hitch in my hips, right? So I don't walk around normally like this. I walk like this, but when I go to dance, I get into dancer stance or dancer mode. So that's going to be our basic. Oh man, Facebook is really messing me up here. Oh yeah, okay, what did Valerie say? Maxie was the only person who told me what the difference between jitterbug and East Coast swing was, the spelling. Ah, yes! That's what people ask me all the time, like, what's the difference between East Coast and jitterbug? It's spelled different. Good joke, Val. Okay, so now, I think we can all agree, if you've been dancing for a while, that's the basic rhythm of Lindy Hop. So here's where I want to go a little bit tonight. The rhythms of jitterbug, the rhythms of 6-count swing. Now this is where it gets interesting. Now, for me, this is a little bit of teacher training, a little bit of curriculum training if you're a teacher in your scene. For me, I like to start almost all my classes with the step, the rock step, the back step, whatever you want to call it. The reason why, if you're in Lindy Hop classes and you're doing a step, step, triple step to start. If you do a Charleston, you usually do a step, step, kick step, yesterday's lesson. So you have that common back step or rock step. And then so in the jitterbug lessons, if we can have that common beginning with a back step or a rock step, now you've got some consistency over those 3 different dance genres, if you will. It's not as difficult. A lot of time when a ballroom couple will come to some of our classes, it might just be the way it's in the curriculum, but they'll usually start with a side step. So they'll start side, side, and a back step. Nothing wrong with that at all. You're going to count it different. It's going to be a different feel, but they have a hard time starting with the rock step. So I can't stress enough that it's just rhythmic choices. You don't get caught up in the numbers. The 1, 2 could be a side step. The 1, 2 could be a rock step. The 1, 2 could be whatever you want it to be. So again, we're going to focus on rhythms tonight. So for me, in a 6-count jitterbug class, what we try to do pretty early on is to introduce 3 basic fundamental rhythms of the jitterbug. And those 3 rhythms are going to be a kick step, a step tap, and a triple step. So watch what I mean. So I'm going to turn around on this one. And again, I'm going to be ambidextrous. So if I'm going to do leader footwork, I'm going to go back on my left foot, and I'm going to start with a kick step. So I'm going to go back step, kick step, kick, step. If I count that, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from the front. Back step, kick, step, kick, step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I'm following, back on the right foot. Rock, step, kick, step, kick, step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from the front. Back step, kick, step, kick, step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that is a basic jitterbug kick step rhythmic choice. Our second rhythm is going to be a step tap. Now, some people will call this single step rhythm or single swing. Some people don't put the tap in there. I like to put the tap or the gather in there just to give it a little bit of a bounce or a pulse or just a little bit of extra. So watch what that looks like. Rhythm number 2, step tap rhythm. As a leader, I would go rock, step, step, tap, step, tap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. From the front, as a leader, starting with the left foot, back, step, step, tap, step, tap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I'm following, back on the right foot, back, step, step, tap, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. From the front, back, step, step, tap, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now again, this could be a gather. It could be a tap, like literally tapping the floor. But sometimes you'll see people do a rock, step, single, single. And to me, that just feels and looks a little bit stiff. I mean, you can put a little bounce in there or a pulse in there. But again, I would call that my step tap rhythm. So I have my kick step rhythm. I have my step tap rhythm. And now the third rhythm is going to be my triple step rhythm. From the leader standpoint, I go back on my left foot, a back step, triple step, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. From the front, a back step, triple step, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Followers, back on the right, back step, triple step, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. From the front, back step, triple step, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so those are the 3, what I would call foundation rhythms of the jitterbug. If I was in Sweden, it would be the jitterbug. Anyway, now what I like about doing this, and again, this is getting into maybe a little bit of a teacher weeds or community like curriculum building weeds. I personally would try, if I had a 4-6 week session of 6 count, I would introduce this the first class. When I say this, all 3. Not that they're going to master all 3, but let's just play with the rhythms. Let's just do all 3 in the first 5-10 minutes of class. Put music on, get it going. Jitterbug, yeah. Why are you reversing? I know, it's weird. Something's going on with the video tonight. Okay, so some people think it's too difficult to give so much to a beginner, but here's the thing. When they go out and dance, they're going to see people doing Lindy hop with triple steps, most likely. They're going to see a lot of other rhythmic patterns. And so I like to show all of this stuff so they are aware that different footworks can exist on the social floor, so that they're not freaking out that, oh, what are they doing? I didn't learn that. So throw them in the deep end a little bit right at the beginning. Rhythmically, none of these are that difficult. So just put on some music and go through the 3 rhythms, repeat the rhythms, get them really solid on it. So again, we've talked about a kick step, a step tap, and a triple step rhythm. Now these are choices that you can make, and you can do these independently of each other. So if I'm dancing with a partner and my follower is doing all triple steps, I could be doing all kick steps. Or I could be doing step taps and they could be doing kick steps. It doesn't matter because it's all 6 count. right? So, and if you want to get even further in the weeds a little bit, everything's 2 counts. So I'm going to just continue with leader footwork or going back on the left foot. Followers, if you're following at home, you'll just do everything on the other foot, the right foot. So think of everything as 2 counts. So the back step is a 1, 2. The kick step is a 1, 2, 1, 2. Again, back step is a 1, 2. Step tap is a 1, 2, 1, 2. This is where it gets tricky. Back step is a 1, 2. Triple step is a 1, 2, 1, 2. So we're putting 3 movements into 2 counts. So everything is just 2 counts. So you can kind of play with that. We're going to get there in a little bit if we have some time. Okay, now the next thing is, if you've got this nice triple step rhythm, when they get into the Lindy Hop class, or if they're taking Lindy Hop at the same time, maybe they're taking the 7 o'clock Jitterbug and the 8 o'clock Lindy, or the Monday Jitterbug and the Wednesday Lindy, however you have it set up in your scene, when you do the Lindy Hop, you just pop those 2 little steps in between that triple step rhythm, right? And so, oh, there we go. Now, the next thing is, if you've got this nice triple step rhythm, when they get into the Lindy Hop class, or if they're taking Lindy Hop. Let's see what happened. Oh, there we go. I'm sorry. I clicked something. Sorry about that, folks. I'm still getting used to this technology thing. Okay. Where was I? Oh, the Lindy. Okay. So, triple step rhythm. If I go rock, step, triple step, all I have to do for Lindy is rock, step, triple step, 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 triple step. And I try to emphasize so much to beginner dancers. It's the easiest thing. It's so simple. You just put those 2 steps in there, no big deal. Now, we all know it is a big deal. It's not easy to feel the difference between 6 and 8, and that's a whole nother, Valerie, can of weeds we can open up and get into at a later session. But tonight I want to stay focused on these rhythmic choices. Okay, so we're solid on Lindy Hop rhythm. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Step, step, triple step. Step, step, triple step. We've introduced 3 foundation jitterbug rhythms: kick step, step tap, and triple step. So let me put a song on and watch how the song is going to be the same tempo, but I'm going to go back and forth between some 6 count rhythms, and I might throw an 8 count in here or there. But if you're watching visually, and this is the kind of stuff you can do at home as exercises, especially if you're a newer dancer getting used to this, put on a song, dance rhythmically to the music. Sometimes try different things, and especially if you're hearing the music really well, it's always nice to dance that 8 count rhythm starting on the 1. And if you're like, what does that mean? That's a whole nother lesson on musicality. Don't stress about it. Just watch how I play with this song with the different rhythms we've already introduced. Okay. Now, before I start this music, I have to give a big shout out to Dean Mora, George G, Glenn Kreitzer, Warren Lovell from Big Time Operator. Contacted all of them, asked if I could use some of their music. So thank you. Thank you. Go out there, get some of their music if you have a chance. Okay, this is Glenn Kreitzer's Mr. Rhythm. Okay. Okay, watch for the jitterbug footwork and the Lindy footwork. Same tempo. So I did 6 count there, now an 8 count. Oh, ba-da. Anyway, you saw what there it goes. Anyway, all kinds of technical difficulties tonight. So you saw there I started with an 8. I went into some step tap rhythm, some kick step rhythm, and then I think I did 2 6 count triples, and then the phrasing was right there on the 1 to go into a Lindy rhythm. It's all good. These are the things you can play with solo. But notice that the tempo didn't change at all, but I made rhythmic choices within the song. Now, sometimes if, again, bringing in the musicality thing, Maybe something in the music feels like a single step or a step tap, or something feels like a kick step, or something feels triply. So you can throw it in whenever you want to, making those rhythmic choices. The next thing to bring up is tempo. Usually slower songs, you want to have either that step tap or that triple step rhythm, because it kind of fills that beat. Let me show you what I mean by that. I'm going to go 132. Yeah, that Mr. Rhythm one is a pretty slow song. So watch. I'm going to do the triples and watch how it fills the music. And then I'm going to go to the kicks and the step taps, and it's okay. It's no big deal. I just did it, but watch how it just looks really slow. Okay, so triples fill the rhythm. Now I do a single or step tap, and it's really slow, or the kick step. Listen, brothers and sisters, have you met that old man? Now watch how the triple step fills the beat. And he will never let you go. Talking about Mr. Rhythm, if your woman is cheating. And then back to the step tap. It's not bad, but it's got this really slow groove to it. And the kick step. And back to the triple. Okay. Now we flip it. Let's go to something fast. So now we're going to go to another Glenn Kreitzer song, Park on Summit. 185 beats per minute. Let me make sure I didn't miss any questions. Oh my gosh, there's all kinds of questions. What? Teach the triple, people. Okay. Oh my goodness. Ha ha ha. Okay. Good. Okay, sorry. I kind of got away from Instagram for a second there. Okay. Yes, can of weeds. It's a thing now. Now, faster music. Sometimes, especially for a beginner dancer, the faster music, the triple steps are difficult. So if you only teach like triple step 6-count stuff and the DJ plays a super fast song, you're going to watch people get really frustrated trying to do triples that fast. Now, fast is a relative term depending on how long you've been dancing or the normal music in your scene. This is 185 beats per minute. And again, I'm going to dance all three rhythms. The triple step rhythm, which is going to look pretty fast, but watch how the kick step and the step tap rhythm fit really, really nice. And it gives me an ease about the song because I have the time to fit that into the faster tempo. Here we go. I think. Start with the triples. Now I'm going to kick step. Now it has a nice lively feel to it. Now the step tap. Ooh, guitar section. Maybe I'm here. After the guitar section, we go into a kick again. Or back to the triples. And if you hear a change in the music, Okay. So again, fast is a relative term. Oh my goodness. There's all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of windows popping up in Facebook. 185, I'm sweating already. I love it. Okay. So again, that was a faster song. So the triple steps, at least for me, weren't too crazy, but it might have looked fast. And again, fast is a relative term. As soon as I went into the kick step and the step tap rhythm, it felt really easy. So again, if you introduce these three fundamental rhythms to your students right away and play a slow song and have them feel like the kicks and the step taps are in molasses and how the triple really fills that beat, and then play a really fast song and say, try to triple this. And like, go to the kick step, go to the step tap, feel how easy this is, and make them feel like they can accomplish any tempo on the dance floor when they go out and dance. Now, you start doing figures. And because of our situation, and I want to be mindful of everybody that might be just solo watching the video, we're not going to get into so much of partner moves tonight, but the trick now is, while you're dancing, whether you're leading or following, you have a choice. And as a teacher, you can throw these little challenges at your students. So you teach a figure, and maybe that figure, that series of movements, you do it all with triple steps. And they get it, and they all feel good and whatnot, and they're looking pretty good. And you go, all right, remember week 1, the very first 10 minutes of class, we did 3 different rhythms. I want you to do the same series of moves, all with kick steps. Yeah, it's pretty fun to watch as a teacher, I gotta be honest. Or step taps. So now you give them a challenge, giving them slight footwork variations, utilizing the same figures, but it will look and feel slightly different depending on the choice you make. And again, or now the next thing you can do is you can say, all right, I want all the followers to do triple steps while the leaders do kicks, and then flip it around or whatever. So remember, I feel like you have these 3 rhythmic choices with the jitterbug, the 6 count stuff. All right, we've got a few minutes left. I've been trying to keep these sessions about a half hour, 45 minutes. Now, here's where the big money comes in. Here's where you're going to want to donate. Ding, 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 ding. Selfless plug. Look at the link above. Here's where you're going to want to donate big money for this knowledge. Now, if you really want to challenge your students and challenge yourself, remember about 10 minutes ago, I said everything is 2 counts. Everything. The back step is 2 counts. The kick step is 2 counts. The step tap is 2 counts. The triple step is 2 counts, even though we do 3 movements in those 2 counts. Janet says, I knew you were always laughing at us. No, 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 I'm laughing with you. Okay. How do you, as an experienced teacher, how do you connection? Woo! That was a question on Instagram there. That's a can of weeds, can of worms that maybe I can get into on Sunday in the teacher organizer class. Tonight I'm going to focus, I'll answer that very quickly though. There's a question about how do I connection. It says, how do you connection? How do you, as an experienced teacher, how do you connection? I'm guessing they're asking like, what's my basic on, teach connection. Oh my goodness. Big, huge can of worms. Over 21 years, I've taught connection in many different ways. Whether it's an individual utilizing a wall or a TheraBand or a rope or something, or together with a partner between the connection and the hands and the hooks. But to make a very long story short, for me personally, everything in the dance comes off the connection. And what I mean by that, everything comes off of the basics of physics. A follower in motion stays in motion until acted upon, right? Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. But you've got 2 bodies working together, and different people have different ideas of what connection and frame are. So it's a very challenging concept. But for me personally, in general, with regards to connection, everything is led. The rock step is led. The figures are led. The shapes are led. Now again, if I'm leading my partner, if I'm leading my partner in a jitterbug and I lead that basic rock step with a push, there's the rock step. Now when I go side to side with that triple, that's where a follower can take that and choose to do something else. Some people would call it styling or just variations or whatnot. So I'm not necessarily leading every single individual step. I'm leading more of the shape in general, if that makes sense. So I'm leading a shape of a rock step and then some movement, or I'm leading the shape of a swing out utilizing the Lindy Hop footwork, or a shape of a figure that might be 6 count or 8 count or 12 count or whatever count. And then for me personally, if the follower is connected with me, they're going to feel that shape, and they may or may not feel the rhythmic choice that I'm making, but they'll definitely feel the timing, whether it lasts for 4 or 8 or 6 or whatever, if that makes sense. Again, I'm kind of going a little bit on a side path here based on a very good question. But if that makes sense. Now, this is frustrating sometimes because when a follower will come and take lessons, almost always a beginner follower, when they start dancing, they might be doing a basic 6 count class. Then they go out and dance, and inevitably somebody tries to lead them in Lindy Hop or Charleston or something, and they get all confused because the only thing they know is the 6 count stuff from their class. And so the first question that usually comes up from a follower is, well, how do I know the difference between 6 or 8? And so that brings up the connection thing, right? And so I say, you don't. And they look at me kind of weird, and I said, you as a follower have no idea if it's going to be 6 or 8 until you feel the shape and the movement from the leader. And that kind of gives them a little bit of an aha moment. I say, it's not your job, it's not your responsibility, because if you're out there guessing if it's 6 or 8, you're in the wrong part of your brain. You want to be feeling things. So that's one thing. And then, so that alleviates some pressure from the follower that asked that question. And then this is the best one. The next question inevitably is, well, what am I supposed to do with my feet? And then this is another fun moment for me. I said, I don't know. I actually don't care. And they look at me really confused, and I say, no, really, like, I want to lead you from here to here. I'm going to have you feel this lead from here to there. And what you actually choose to do with your feet in that moment is completely up to you. Because if I dance with an advanced follower where I do an inside turn, they might do like a little eagle slide or a Susie cue or something. I don't care if they do a Susie or like, okay, I'm going to do it. So a follower, a basic movement is an inside turn. I'm following, and I might get rock, step, trip, full step, trip, full step. Basic vanilla. But if I'm dancing with an advanced follower, they might go rock, step, eagle slide, hop, ba-da. I don't care if they do that, or they might go a rock, step, Susie. It doesn't matter. I don't care. It's so cool. And that, again, relieves a lot of pressure from the followers, because then they can just focus on the feel, focus on the shape. Now, okay, yes, I do get back to that beginner dancer. And this is where I'm going to bring it back full circle with what we've been talking about tonight. I then say, there's 3 basic rhythms for the jitterbug. Have you learned those yet? They usually say no. And then I say, and then there's this Lindy Hop thing. Have you learned that yet? Usually they say no. So you can see how confusing it is for a follower out there. If they don't understand there's these different rhythms that they can do, there's different choices they can make rhythmically, and then there's this 8 count thing. So now you introduce all of this to them. And again, don't make it difficult. Just have fun with them. You can introduce these rhythms in about 5-10 minutes. Now, when they go through the movements, then I'll play the game that I said a little bit earlier. I'll say, we're going to do this shape. Let's say you're like in closed position. You do a tuck turn out. You do an inside turn. And then you come back to close. All 6 count. And I'll tell a follower, do everything with triple steps. Now we're going to do it again. Do everything with a kick step. Do everything with a step tap. And when they start to play with that, they're like, wow, I had no idea I could do all that stuff with my feet. And I'm like, bingo. And the whole time, I, as a leader, am leading the same shapes. So that was a real like sidewinder tangent about connection. But now let's bring it back to the rhythmic choices, because this is where it's going to get fun. Oh, perfect timing. Okay, I went a little longer than a half hour tonight. Everything is 2 counts. This is going to rock your world. It's the coolest thing ever. So now I'm going to do the polyrhythms. So if I have kick steps, step taps, and triple steps, I can do things like this. A rock step, kick step, triple step, rock step, triple step, kick step, rock step, kick step, step tap, rock step, step tap, kick step, rock step, triple step, step tap, rock step, step tap, triple step. What? Watch from the front. Now remember, followers, if you're moving back on the right foot, it doesn't matter. Right foot, left foot, be ambidextrous. In fact, I'm going to go back on my right foot this time just for the heck of it. And I might go rock step, kick step, step tap, rock step, step tap, kick step, rock step, kick step, triple step, rock step, triple step, kick step, rock step, step tap, triple step, rock step, triple step, step tap. Now, that is super fun. When you start to really play with these rhythms, this is where you then, this would be like, I wouldn't do this in a beginner class. I might throw this out at like an intermediate or an advanced group of dancers, and it's happened often. I've turned on a song and said, I want you to do all the 6 count stuff that you know. And almost everybody does either, depending on the tempo of the music, will do rock triple triple, or they will do rock kick step kick step. The step tap is kind of a lost art form. No big deal. I'm cool with that. But try it. The next time you have an intermediate or advanced class, just say nothing but 6 count. Don't give any other details but that, and watch closely. I almost guarantee you it's going to be all triples or all kick step kick step. Then you simply give them a challenge. You show them a rhythm. You say, we're all going to do this. Rock, step, kick, step, triple step. I want you to do what you just did, but everyone has to do that rhythm. Watch. Half the leaders forget how to lead. Half the followers can't follow because they're trying to figure out this weird footwork. Again, it's just 2 counts. It's just rhythmic choices. Then they start to get it a little bit, and then you flip it on them and you say, I want everyone to do a rock step, triple step, kick step. And now you're playing, and now they're doing the same stuff they ever, wow, never seen that before. I know I bring this stuff up and people are like, what? I don't know, 21 years gets to you. So, again, these are the polyrhythms. You can chart it out, you can write it out, you can do whatever you want with it. Even start coming up with some of your own rhythmic choices. Again, for me, this is just foundation. Kick steps, step taps, and triple steps. I'm going to put a song on. I'm going to dance a little bit. See if you can check out what the rhythmic choices are. I'm gonna stay all with, just keep it easy. I'm going to keep it all 6 count. But as you watch it, see if you can distinguish which one it was. It might be 2 triples, might be 2 kick steps, might be 2 step taps. It might be a polyrhythm of this, that, and the other. But watch how I make these rhythmic choices in the song with nothing but these 3 foundation rhythms and making choices. Woo. So again, I'm just playing with the foundation rhythms of the jitterbug. So if you're at home solo dancing and this is the first time you've ever seen something like this, throw a song on, start to play. Come up with a pattern that you want to stick to. Triples, kick steps, step taps. Come up with a polyrhythm that you're going to stick to for a little bit. Flip the polyrhythm. Go on to the next one. Do a polyrhythm. Flip it. What I mean by that, polyrhythm would be kick, step, triple step. Flip it. Triple step, kick step. Play with that for a while. Do all your combinations. And then when we get back to partner dancing, as soon as you're leading someone in a figure or you're following a 6-count figure, hopefully you'll remember this lesson and you'll do different things with your feet. Now, again, this is foundation stuff. So basic jitterbug rhythms and movement. Now we bring Monday's lesson into the mix with the jazz steps. What is your repertoire? That's the first question I asked in Joel's College of Swing Era Knowledge. What's your repertoire of jazz? Because now you start adding things like Shorty Georges and Susie Q's and Eagle Slides and all kinds of stuff. And when you start to think about putting all of these things into your dancing, you start to play a little bit here and there. And you find the cool moments where something will fit in. Or guess what? You try it and it doesn't work. It doesn't matter. As a dancer, you figure those things out. When you're a beginner, you stop and you go, that was wrong. When you're an intermediate dancer, you kind of mess it up and you might stumble here and there and it's okay. When you're an advanced dancer, you make every step a part of the dance. I mess up all the time on the social floor. I mess up my lead. I mess up my footwork. I'm off balance. Sometimes I'm out of control. Not out of control, but we all are looking for that perfect dance, and perfection is very hard to find. So be nice to your egos. Have fun with your rhythms. Find where it fits in. There are no mistakes, only variations. I love it. Yes, the flipple. Oh, I love it. Flip triple. Good stuff. Yay for play. Woo! Okay, good stuff there. Oh my goodness, I don't know how to use it. Oh, Instagram, I can do that. Teach connection. Sorry if I disrail. Oh, no problem. Disrailing's fine. Shape, love that. Sorry, I'm getting used to all this technology stuff, reading all of your stuff. Okay, so that is tonight's Lindy Hop Jitterbug lesson, mostly focused on the jitterbug. Please share this with your fellow dancers. Have fun with this on the social dance floor with all your 6-count stuff. Again, a big shout out to Dean Mora, Glenn Kreitzer, George G, Warren Lovell for Big Time Operator, giving me permission to use their music. Check them out. Purchase a song or a CD if you can from those cats. There's a lot of stuff going around with streaming live videos and resources, so we thank all of you, those of us that have been professional dancers for many years. We're trying to figure this all out, so it's all good. Just spreading the joy and the love of dance. Joel's College of Swing Era Knowledge. Monday, Jazz. Tuesday, Charleston. Wednesday, Lindy Hop and Jitterbug. Thursday, Spokane's Thursday evening swing class, 7 to 8. I think solo Charleston is winning. We have our own little voting going on in our local group. So I think I'm going to do a solo Charleston class tomorrow night. Friday, Shag, Collegiate, St. Louis, Single Rhythm, Carolina. Saturdays, Balboa and Bell Swing, and Sunday, Teachers and Organizers. That could be an interesting thing. All these events are listed on my personal profile. Again, I don't know how Facebook works. Go on my profile and look for some events and whatnot. Do we get a diploma upon completion? I've been thinking about this. Maybe there might be a big package deal, and I don't know. There's all kinds of stuff that we can talk about. That might be Sunday's chat with teachers and organizers. Stay safe, everybody. I miss partner dancing a lot. I think all of us, when we get back to it, We're going to be very appreciative of all the people that organize events and all the things that we took for granted maybe before all this craziness happened. But let's focus on the joy. Let's focus on the love of the dance and spread it all around, even in this time of quarantine. Like, share with your friends, share these ideas, share this video with people that you want to learn. I know Valerie, sing over them shags. Valerie's like, sing over them shag. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll all good stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, officially 45 minutes of goodness. Night, night. Don't forget to donate. I'm crazy about you.